Now on Nightside, strange behavior from coyotes in North Idaho. Some chasing and biting a skier on Schweitzer Mountain.
In your first alert forecast, the worst of the cold is behind us, but don't expect to see the sun as things begin to warm up.
Police in Oregon are searching for a man who they say kidnapped and tortured a woman. You're watching 4 News Now Nightside. Reports have been flooding in of coyotes behaving strangely in North Idaho. Thanks for joining us. I'm Aaron Luna. Kirsten O'Connor is off tonight. In early January, Idaho Fish and Game said coyotes were chasing skiers on Schweitzer Mountain. One bit a female skier. And these are pictures taken by photographer Mark Vogt, not the same coyotes as the ones reported at the ski resort. And last week, Idaho Fish and Game received reports of 2 coyotes roaming through downtown Sandpoint. They appeared comfortable around humans in the daytime, which is highly unusual as they are nocturnal and often secretive. Last Wednesday, this one ran into a Sandpoint bar, the 219 Lounge, and huddled in a corner on a back patio until Fish and Game came to get him. He didn't bite or fight back, which made onlookers think he could be sick. There are very few documented cases of rabies in land mammals in Idaho. The most probable explanation is that these coyotes are used to humans because they're being fed by them. If you see a coyote at Schweitzer Mountain Ski Resort or in Sandpoint, contact the Panhandle Regional Office immediately. The number is there on your screen, 209-769-1414. Don't approach the animal or attempt to feed them, touch them, or harass them. The worst of the cold is behind us, but so is the best of the sun. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker for your first alert forecast. Chris.
We are beginning to warm up, although it does not feel warm by any stretch. We are in the teens right now in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, but cooling down at a much slower pace than we have the past couple of nights. It's 19 in Sandpoint right now, 23 in Grand Coulee, as well as in Lewiston. Right around the Spokane area, temperatures ranging from 14 degrees at Spirit Lake right now to 22 in downtown and Spokane Valley. Our lows tonight will be in the double digits at least after a couple of nights in the single digits, except in Deer Park, 8 for a morning low there. Meanwhile, here is a look at our satellite and radar, and we have had a few snow flurries around the region, and we have a chance to see some flurries overnight as well as again tomorrow afternoon. Not expecting any accumulation, maybe just a skiff or a trace of snow. Here's a look at your Tuesday planner. Overcast conditions to start the day, 14 our morning low, heading to a high of 27. Again, an improvement over the past couple of days, but 36 is our average high. The best chance to see those snow flurries right afternoon in the 2 to 4 o'clock hour. It is going to get even warmer in the 7-day forecast. I'll be back to tell you about that in just a few minutes, Aaron.
Chris, thank you. Sandpoint police arrested a man for allegedly killing his father. Officers say they were called to a house on Browning Way near Lincoln and Pine yesterday. They say family members got a call from an 80-year-old relative who said his son was getting moody and that he didn't feel safe. Police say he told family members he was going to stay in a motel for the weekend. Officers found him dead upstairs in his house. Idaho State Police eventually tracked down his son, Evan John Owens. Police say he was arrested for second-degree murder, and his bail is set at $5 million. An autopsy is being done today. New on Nightside, police in Oregon are searching for a man who they believe kidnapped and tortured a woman, and he may be using dating apps right now looking for his next victim. 36-year-old Benjamin Obadiah Foster is on the run after allegedly kidnapping and trying to kill a woman, beating her unconscious. Police describing him as a, quote, extremely dangerous suspect who, quote, may attempt to change his appearance by shaving his beard and hair or by changing his hair color, end quote. Documents allege Foster tried to kill the victim while intentionally torturing her and secretly confining her in a place she was not likely to be found. Police say the victim was discovered last Tuesday in Grants Pass, Oregon, bound and severely beaten. She's now hospitalized in critical condition.
Individual's behavior clearly shows that he is capable of doing anything to anyone within our community. Everybody is hurt by this. We typically think that this could not happen in our small community of 40,000 people, but this can happen anywhere in the United States.
On Thursday, local, state, and federal authorities raided a property about 20 miles north of Grants Pass, where they seized evidence, including Foster's 2008 Nissan Sentra. During that search, police arrested a 68-year-old woman for hindering prosecution and allegedly helping Foster evade law enforcement. Police say Foster evaded capture and likely received assistance in fleeing the area, and believe he is actively using online dating applications to contact unsuspecting individuals who may be lured into assisting with the suspect's escape or potentially as additional victims. This isn't Foster's first run-in with the law. Violent videos like the one of the arrest of Tyree Nichols are difficult to watch, and in many cases they're difficult to avoid. There are ways to cope with the feelings these types of videos may bring, and how to talk to about your children about them. Licensed therapist Jody Baumstein says coping starts with facing your feelings and talking about them with someone you trust. It's a good way to avoid bottling them up and fueling anxiety. And practice self-care. That could mean being active or taking some time for yourself, depending on what soothes you.
There's no right or wrong here, but it's really about tuning in to what you need in that moment and taking care of yourself.
Baumstein says young children should not be exposed to violence, but it's important to listen to older children, comfort them, and let them know that they are in a safe area. Have an open, honest conversation about what happened and validate their feelings. The tragic killing of 3 young kids by their mother is sparking nationwide conversation about postpartum psychosis. A local mental health counselor told us about 1 in 4 women struggle with postpartum depression. Postpartum psychosis, on the other hand, occurs in 0.1 and 0.2% of women. It's very rare. Of those women who experience psychosis, only 4% commit what's known as infanticide, killing their own children. Well, that's what happened in Massachusetts last Tuesday. And Patrick Clancy called 911 after his wife attempted suicide. Paramedics arrived to find all 3 kids unconscious inside the home. 2 died that day, and the third, at 8 months old, died in the hospital a few days later. Lindsay, a labor and delivery nurse, is hospitalized facing assault and murder charges. She was open about her struggles with postpartum depression. A local specialist explains psychosis and emphasizes it's not the same as postpartum depression.
What often happens is they have delusions or hallucinations or thoughts and feelings that don't make a lot of sense. There does seem to be a link with psychosis and lack of sleep. And sometimes someone in psychosis will actively avoid sleep, or they'll feel super good without any sleep at all.
Well, Chafin can't stress enough the importance of sleep for women who are struggling with postpartum depression. Scientific research shows there is a link between the two. Depression can lead to psychosis, but can also happen independent of pre-existing postpartum depression. Chafin also says psychosis is extremely treatable with the right resources. She says it's so important that moms who are struggling open up about what they're going through to get the help they need. We have a list of resources on KXLY.com. Controversy is now swirling around a new bill introduced in Olympia. If passed, it will promote and support the development of more inclusive public school materials focusing on historically marginalized and underrepresented groups. A student in Yakima says she feels isolated in her history class at school because the class materials are only focused on narratives involving predominantly white countries and exclude her racial background.
Extremely important bill to me as it affects me personally. By diversifying school curricula, it creates an opportunity for minority students to feel seen and heard.
Parents against the bill say providing more funds for new school curricula is unnecessary, urging schools to stop teaching kids that their value of worth is based on the color of their skin and sexual preferences.
Ask the committee to vote against it. SB 5441 discriminates against parents and prevents parents from having an active, legitimate engagement with their children's education.
The superintendent of Central Valley School District in Spokane Valley says whether the Senate bill passes or not, the district wants to continue to create a safe space for students from every background. There's no word yet when a vote will be held for this bill. More than $9 million is headed to Washington to fight the increase in traffic fatalities. The Department of Transportation granted the Spokane Regional Transportation Council $400,000. According to Senator Maria Cantwell's office, there were 745 fatalities on Washington roads last year, which is the most in 30 years.
Well, don't look now, but we are less than 6 weeks away from Selection Sunday, as there is no shortage of teams in our area vying for a chance to make the NCAA tournament. We know a couple of teams that are basically mortal locks at this point. One of those teams are the Gonzaga men. They're coming off a win against Portland over the weekend and moved up 2 spots in the latest Associated Press Top 25 poll, and now sit at number 12 with about 4 weeks to go in the regular season. This number doesn't mean a whole lot, though, because we're going to find out a lot more at where the Zags stand when the NCAA Tournament Committee comes out with their initial top 16 teams in a couple of weeks. Now, ESPN Bracketology has the team listed as a number 3 seed at this point. And senior Drew Timme was named to the John R. Wooden Award late season top 20 watch list. So far this season, he's averaging more than 20 points a game, which ranks 8th in the nation, and he's also 3rd in field goals made. And within the next week, Timme is going to become Gonzaga's 2nd all-time leading scorer, and he's just 24 points away from doing so. As for the Gonzaga women, they stayed put in the latest AP poll, sitting at number 17 in the country after they beat Loyola Marymount and Pepperdine over the weekend to extend their win streak to 14 games. And with just 7 games left in the regular season, they've all but locked up that double bye in the WCC tournament and could very well have the number 1 seed essentially locked up if they win their next 3 games. And coming up a bit later on in sports, we're going to have more basketball action, including the Railroad Rumble inside the Spokane Arena between Rogers and Cheney. Aaron, send it back over to you.
Alex, thank you. Just 5 years after Spokane Valley City Hall was built, the $14 million building is already in need of major repairs, the cost of which could end up north of $4 million. The most severe problem is a wall on the northeast part of the building that's sinking into the ground. City officials first began noticing issues with the building after they noticed cracks in the city council chamber, which have since been covered up with plywood. There are a multitude of issues that need fixing, including cracks developing on the inside and outside of walls, roof and attic deficiencies, door repairs, and the list goes on.
There's no doubt that it's a surprise. It's not what you anticipate when you move into a brand new building that costs, $14 million. However, it is our responsibility to ensure that we got what we paid for.
Well, these defects could run as high as $4 million and are in need of immediate repair. The city of Spokane Valley has filed a lawsuit against the original contractor of the building to get fully reimbursed for these costs. That court date is set for August 7th.
Track live radar on the 4 News Now weather app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Rebath Spokane.
When I was 18, I really wanted to go to college, so I took out some private loans. I kept paying and paying and paying and paying, but they just wouldn't go down. BCU helped me tremendously because they allowed me to rebuild my credit. They really helped me get back on my feet.
Today, Grady turns 1. Already he plans to wrestle alligators, try his hand at the culinary arts, and explore the world. With Dream Ahead College Investment Plan, you can start saving for their future anywhere in the country. Don't borrow your children's future, build it at 529.wa.gov.
New tonight.
Spent the whole day watching football yesterday. Niners started the game with the 3rd stringers. He got hurt in the game. They brought in a 4th string quarterback. They were this close to bringing in whichever cheerleader had the strongest arm.
With Selma Hayek-Pinot, Jimmy Kimmel Live. New tonight on ABC.
What happened there, Lucky Charm?
Hey, you're still up $400.
Yeah, but I did lose that one.
Well, maybe if you stop hitting 19. And while you're at it, put on your game face.
That's a good idea. How's this?
Just looks like your regular face.
There's a gleam in my eye.
What gleam? Hey, Brooke, do you see a gleam?
I have not seen a gleam since 19...
Friday Night Sports Extra Hoops Edition.
We have all the highlights, big plays, scores from around the Inland Northwest.
Your favorite high school athletes in the spotlight. Friday Night Sports Extra on 4 News Now, Nightside.
Nobody likes keeping track of a wallet full of credit cards with complicated rewards categories, and members of BECU don't have to. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back and no annual fee with the Cashback Visa from BECU. Power in people.
4 News Now is brought to you by Foothills Mazda.
Thanks for staying up with Nightside. A boulder barreled through a family home in Hawaii, nearly hitting one of the owners. Take a look at this crazy video.
You okay?
Wow. The house had just been built a week before the boulder destroyed it. People who live in the area are raising concern about a housing development that is going up nearby where builders, I should say, are excavating a mountain. That is a close call. Some doctors are taking a stand against kids on social media, saying 13 years old, still too young.
There's plenty of research to suggest that social media, especially social media addiction, can have a negative impact on teens' mental health, increasing risk of conditions such as anxiety, depression, body dysmorphia, disrupting sleep, schoolwork.
The most popular social media apps have age restrictions of 12 and up. Industry executives point out social media's benefits. Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Meta, says that using social apps to connect with other people can have positive mental benefits, but many experts and parents insist restraints are needed.
I simply do not think we have the ability to keep every teen out there from getting on a device and lying about their age. But I think it's important that we have a transparent, necessary conversation about the risks, not only from a public health perspective, but from the companies themselves.
Even in China, where TikTok was developed, there's an age and time restriction for those under 14. They can only access it on youth mode and for just 40 minutes a day. Advocates want similar controls here in the U.S. Students are back in class at a Virginia elementary school where a 6-year-old student shot their teacher 3 weeks ago. Parents and students walked into school for the first time since that shooting. With more security changes, 2 metal detection systems have been installed and students used clear backpacks. Eventually, 2 security officers will be assigned to the school.
Just in case, he doesn't feel comfortable with staying all day, then I'll be right here to pick him up.
I want her to be as safe as possible and like all the other kids to be safe, but still nervous, very thankful the teacher's okay.
The teacher, Abigail Werner, is out of the hospital. Her attorney announced her intent to file a lawsuit against the Newport News Public Schools over the incident. A new study suggests children worldwide lost out on more than a third of a year's worth of learning when the COVID-19 pandemic closed schools. Learning deficits were great for children from low socioeconomic backgrounds, and students still have not recovered from the setbacks. The author suggests that school districts take steps to add tutoring and more learning time, such as summer programs or longer school years, in an effort to get them back on track. New on Nightside, climate scientists are using artificial intelligence to better predict the future of global warming. A report published today says over the next 3 decades, the planet could cross critical global warming thresholds sooner than previous models have predicted. The study estimates that the planet's temperatures will increase by over 2 degrees Celsius by 2050. That's even with significant global efforts to bring down planet warming pollution.
Here are 4 things to know about your weather. It is going to be cold tomorrow, but not as cold as it was today. We have some clouds that will continue to move in and the possibility of flurries in the afternoon. We have a few flurries around the region right now. Even in the mountains, they're not going to amount to much. Less than an inch in the mountains, not even a 1/10 of an inch down in the valleys. We have a gradual warming trend in our forecast that will take us up to a little bit above average. And then we do have some rain and snow coming in Friday and into the weekend. Here's a look at live conditions right now. Still reporting clear skies in Coeur d'Alene, but the temperature drop has definitely slowed. It is cloudy in Spokane and 18 degrees. Here's our forecast radar starting off at our current time. The clouds will continue to move in overnight. Starting off the day tomorrow with mostly cloudy conditions. Then we have a weak disturbance that may bring just the very lightest of snow to the region tomorrow afternoon. This is 2 o'clock. As quickly as it moves in, it moves right on out. However, because we're going to stay below freezing and it's been so cold, we could get a light dusting of snow on the roads on top of the ice that is already on many of the side streets. So the evening commute could still be slick in spots. Overnight lows tonight will be down in the single digits in a few spots, but most locations will be staying in the double digits. High temperatures tomorrow below freezing for the most part. Couple of exceptions, Pullman and Lewiston. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We are going to get up above freezing on Wednesday, even warmer for Thursday and Friday, right about average. And then we bring in that chance of rain and snow, only 30% in Spokane. The odds increase as we get into the mountains, and even a better chance on Sunday. Could get back up in the 40s on Saturday. I have your 8 to 14 day forecast, an amazing pick of the night in just a few minutes, Aaron.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Chris. New on Nightside, the parents of Gabby Petito appeared before the Utah Senate today to voice their support of a bill that could help protect victims of domestic violence. The bill would require law enforcement officers to ask a victim of domestic violence 12 questions to help assess whether they may be in further danger if they return to their partner. The answers will be kept private, but judges will have access to them for prosecution purposes. The bill also includes funding for a private database where police can keep track of domestic violence aggressors and victims. If the bill passed, well, it passed unanimously in the Senate this morning and has been presented to the House. The Biden administration wants to make it easier for women to get free birth control. A new rule would remove a Trump-era exemption to the Affordable Care Act that allows employers to opt out for moral convictions, although employers would still be allowed to opt out for religious reasons. Also, a new independent pathway for those policyholders would be created for women to access contraception at no cost. The proposed rule will not become finalized for several months.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Don't need glasses. See us for your contacts and save on your annual supply.
Communities in School surrounds kids with a community of support to achieve success in school and life.
CIS provides critical resources like food, clothing, and tutoring so kids can focus on their education. CIS helps kids succeed inside the classroom and beyond.
Numerica is honored to partner with organizations like Communities in Schools who enhance lives, fulfill dreams, and build communities.
Check out more organizations that make our community stronger at numericacu.com.
Well, looks like our surgery patient is feeling better today.
Yep, I didn't need any oxy today. I thought I'd do a little surgery on the drain.
Huh. Do you need your pain pills anymore?
No.
Well, we should get them out of the house. There are places to drop them off.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I can do that right now.
And I will look at the drain.
Prevent opioid misuse. Find safe medication return options near you at med-project.org.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think I'll sell my veggies at the market.
Do you even remember to water the house plants?
I do this? You can do this.
Hey, we need to build a home office.
We're adding another bathroom.
I think I'll study programming.
Bro, you can't even connect your phone to Bluetooth.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Shopko Optical welcomes more insurance plans than ever. Call to book an exam and verify coverage.
4 News Now is brought to you by Coeur d'Alene Casino Resort Hotel.
Our high temperature today was only 22 degrees, but look where we started the day at 5. That's the lowest number of this recent cold snap. However, the wind chill was quite a bit more tolerable this morning. Our sunset getting awfully close to 5 o'clock. Here's our temperature trend over the next 7 days. This white line is average. By this time next week, up at 38 degrees, we will be below average the next couple of days and then just a hair above, but a nice warming trend, at least getting above freezing. Hopefully we can take care of some of those icy side roads. Here is the temperature trend for the 8 to 14 day forecast. Takes us right up to the day before Valentine's Day. Very strong signal of below average temperatures for A lot of places that people go to get away from the cold. I hate to see that this time of year, but we're in the gray, indicating nothing to speak one way or the other, but more likely average temperatures. There's just a little bit of the blue in parts of the southern panhandle and southeastern Washington. Meanwhile, we're in the very light green for above average precipitation. We need it in the mountains. Here's a look at an amazing pick of the night tonight. This is from our friend Nora Jen. She captured this image today out at Steamboat Rock State Park, and we have a 22-degree halo around the sun with sundogs on each side and even an upper tangent arc. Quite a display of atmospheric optics there. And of course, that is with the high clouds moving in today. Those ice crystal clouds with their hexagonal crystals, that's refracting that sunlight. And Nora was there to see it all at Steamboat Rock State Park.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Ironstone Furniture and Fire.
The perfect con takes trust, and there's no one I trust more than my family.
Don't judge a crook by their cover, Mom.
I was born to flex, diamonds on my neck.
We plan for everything, but I never planned on her.
So what do you do?
Like a honey bun, spit like a tummy gun, roll you.
How much do you know about her? I never got a straight answer about what it is you do for a living.
You didn't?
Money.
Nobody likes keeping track of a wallet full of credit cards with complicated rewards categories, and members of BECU don't have to. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back and no annual fee with the Cashback Visa from BECU. Power in people.
Those responsible for making our local roads and highways safe for winter travel would like to remind you that snow removal is an important, critical, and precise task. Please give the right-of-way to removal equipment so we can all get where we need to go quickly and safely.
This is the 2023 Nissan Rogue. With a surprisingly fuel-efficient VC turbo engine, you can go from 0 to fun in no time and leave basic far behind. The 2023 Nissan Rogue. Anything but basic.
Now get 0% financing for 36 months on Rogue with best-in-class fuel economy among gas engines.
Winter weather means hazardous driving conditions. If you must travel, follow these guidelines to keep everyone safe. Slow down and keep a safe following distance. Use traction tires. Give snow and emergency vehicles the right of way. Carry an emergency kit. Brought to you by Lakes, Worley, Post Falls, and Eastside Highway Districts.
When I think of a mortgage advisor, I think of someone who is not approachable or friendly. But then we went to BECU and I met Lauren. She was like, this is how you buy a home. BECU changed my life and my family's life.
Well, if you've been tuning in on Friday nights with us, you know the high school basketball season is in full swing. And this week is one of the most anticipated every season because it is Spirit Week, meaning students in the stands are screaming at the top of their lungs and attempting to bring home a ridiculous trophy at the end of the night that has no meaning whatsoever. But we're going to start the week with the Railroad Rumble. Cheney and Rogers, a couple of 2A teams battling and taking center stage, and it was Disney versus Nickelodeon in the student sections tonight. Let's start with the boys. Opening tip of the game, and Rogers will win this one. Tavalansi Trammell quickly drives to the basket and gets the layup to go down, as the Pirates are going to be up early, but back comes Cheney. Carter Ittner receives the pass in the lane and is going to finish with the basket to help tie this game back up. A couple of minutes later, the Blackhawks with the lead. Jacob Valance from deep, and he hits it as both offenses were in a groove in the first half. Rogers not going anywhere, though, as Trammell puts up the 3 off the backboard, and he gets the shooter's bounce to go down, and we're locked in a tight one. But the night belonged to Cheney as Gens Hilburn drives to the basket with a nice little Euro step there, and that shot goes down, and the Blackhawks pull pull away late in this one to win 61-48. To the girls' game, and Cheney looking for the clean sweep of Rogers. There's Sheriff Woody leading the Blackhawks in this one. In the first quarter, Mia Ashcroft takes the long two and hits it as Cheney extends their lead. Then a few possessions later, Macy Richards receives the pass and scores at the rim, and the Blackhawks really starting to take control now. But Rogers, they don't have any quit in them as Angelica Q. Leon sinks the corner three, and that'll get the crowd going once again for the Pirates. Later on, off a miss, Lena Anne-Marie Harvey grabs the offensive rebound, cleans up with the layup, and is there a comeback brewing at this point? Well, Cheney puts an end to that quickly as Paige Evans has a nice little drive, a step to the basket, and then later on, it's going to be Evans again with a pull-up jumper. She gets this one to go down, and the Blackhawks go on to win this one 68-37. As for the rest of the games inside the arena this week, well, we're going to have a full slate of them now and through Thursday, as tomorrow it's going to be Ferris and Lewis and Clark for the Rubber Chicken. Wednesday, North Central and Shadle Park for the Groovy Shoes. And finally, on Thursday, Central Valley and University will duke it out in the Stinker Sneaker? I had that right? It's Stinky. Oh, that's fun. I wrote that one wrong in the telephone. Oh, whatever. Moving on. Coming off their win against Portland over the weekend, the Gonzaga Bulldogs men's basketball team moved up 2 spots in the Associated Press Top 25 poll, and they're sitting at number 12 in the country with 4 weeks to go in the regular season. This number doesn't mean much, though, because the actual poll that counts the NCAA Tournament Committee is going to come out with their top 16 teams in a couple of weeks. ESPN Bracketology does have the Bulldogs at a number 3 seed. And a couple of Zags picked up some accolades today as Julian Strother was named the WCC Player of the Week. In this team's win against Portland, he put up a career-high 40 points, including 8 made threes, which also is a career best for him. And that 40 points is the most by a men's player since 2016, as he becomes just the 4th player to reach that mark in the Mark Few era. Zags begin February with a tough stretch, though. First up is going to be Santa Clara at home on Thursday night, and then a date with St. Mary's on Saturday night. That one's going to be good. And the Gonzaga women stayed put in the latest Associated Press Top 25 poll, still at number 17 in the country after they beat Loyola Marymount and Pepperdine over the weekend to extend their winning streaks to 14 games. But with just 7 games left in the regular season, they've almost got that double bye in the WCC locked up. But for head coach Lisa Fortier, she says that doesn't impact how they approach their upcoming games.
We're just trying to get better and take care of our own self right now, and it's great. I mean, hopefully we will. I'd love to have a double bye, but I don't think that's on most of our minds right now. It's just what we can improve on and what we got ahead of us next week.
And the Bulldogs will hit the road for the Bay Area stretch of their schedule as they're going to face off against Santa Clara and San Francisco this weekend. 4 News Now, we'll be right back.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
If your checking account isn't earning you money, it's time to switch to bonus checking from Numerica. The account that earns an incredible 2% annual percentage yield. That could earn you up to $500 every year or more.
Sometimes you're so busy taking care of everyone else, you don't do enough for yourself or your mouth. But eventually it will remind you. When it does, Aspen Dental is here for you. We offer the custom dental treatments you need all under one roof right nearby, so we can bring more life to your smile and more smile to your life, affordably. New patients without insurance can get a free complete exam and x-rays and 20% off treatment plans. Aspen Dental, anything to make you smile. Schedule your appointment today.
You expect more from local news. 4 News Now delivers.
It's to get you the information you need to plan your day.
Breaking news this morning, and breaking news you need to keep your family safe.
On Good Morning Northwest, that's what we mean when we say expect more.
Are you tired of that hard-to-clean bathtub? Replace it with a new Kohler Luckstone shower from Pacific Bath Company. Surfaces won't harbor bacteria, mold, or mildew. Plus, Clean Coat glass prevents hard water spots. Call during our New Year renewal sale. Receive $2,023 off your new Kohler Luckstone shower. We install in 2 days or less. Plus, call during this program for 0 payments and 0 interest for 18 months, but only for a limited time, so call now.
Gwendolyn tweets, just eating tiny tacos and drinking a Red Bull in the school parking lot, which gives me an idea. Introducing Red Bull Energy Infusions and 2 flavors that go great with my tiny tacos. Hey Gwen, want to be our college intern? New Red Bull Infusions at Jack in the Box.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
We have a little correction to make on that coyote story from earlier today. It's not how I pronounce the word. It's the Panhandle Regional Office number you should call if you see a coyote in Sandpoint or Schweitzer. It's 208. I said 209. 208 is the area code. 769-1414.
Born and raised in the 208.
Coyote or coyote?
Coyote.
Yeah, see, Alex.